Nick's question is up next. He said, howdy. Given the net worth skew for young people and the lagging nature of the metrics, are there other ways to utilize net worth or analyze your financial health? So especially when you're young. And he said, thanks for everything y'all do. Thought that this was interesting because when you're just starting out, it is true. Like you don't have the time on your side. So how can somebody like Nick know if they're on track with their net worth?
Let me give you a compliment before you give the answer.
Okay.
You know, when I first came out of school in the 90s, I tell you guys, a book, and it's still up there, it's just not on the podium anymore, the lean-to, or whatever you call a book highlighter. But Millionaire Next Door changed my life because it really showed me what millionaires do with their money. And I remember there's a formula inside there to let you know if you're an average accumulator of wealth, a prodigious accumulator of wealth, or if you're an under accumulator of wealth. And it's really talking about net worth. And that equation is your age times your income divided by 10.
That's right.
So the problem is, and this is one of those things I've taught to Sarah, and I know I've seen it on blog posts, is that it is known in the research that unfortunately for 20 and 30 somethings, that you just don't have enough time on your side that your net worth, when you do that formula, you're gonna be disappointed because you just haven't been working long enough. Your income's going up so fast that it just doesn't work. And I thought this was a tragic problem with this great formula. And then walks in CFA Bo Hansen with his brilliant nerdiness. He came up with a hack that actually, and we've incorporated this in a lot of our content on how to turn the Millionaire Next Door formula to where it does work for 30 and 40-year-olds and I mean 20 and 30-year-olds. How does that work?
Yeah, if you are someone who's under 40, I would encourage you to do this. Take your age, multiply it times your income, and divide by 10 plus the number of years you have until you're 40. So if you're a 30-year-old, your denominator, the bottom number, what you would divide by would be 10 plus 10. 40 years old minus 30 years is 10 plus 10. You would divide by 20. If you do that, it's going to give you a more realistic picture of where you should be if you want to be an average accumulator of wealth. Now, if you're someone who's young and your income has like moved a ton over the past couple of years, there's nothing wrong with smoothing it out. Maybe take your average income over the last 3 years times your age today divided by 10 plus the number of years until 40. And that's going to give you a great metric. But I do want to tell you, Nick, one thing that I would really have you focus on. Early on, we have all these metrics and all these things to focus on. You know the most important thing for a young person, the single best indicator of are you where you're supposed to be? It's one thing, and one thing only, in my opinion, your savings rate.
Yeah.
Are you saving 25% of your gross income? Because, and we have a great deliverable. If you want to go out to moneyguide.com/resources, in your 20s, if you can save 25% starting in that decade, there's a very high probability you're going to get to write your own ticket later in life. You're going to get to be able to decide, what do I want to do? When do I want to do it? How do I want to do it? Where do I want to do it? Saving 25% is going to equip you to be able to do that. So rather than focusing on all the formulas and metrics and this much time salary, focus on that one. Now, we know that you guys are financial mutants. You love this. And that's why we do have some content coming up. We're actually going to walk through milestones. We're going to walk through millionaire milestones that you ought to know about that will specifically speak to, am I on track? What should be my next goal? What's the next mountain I should overcome? And we're going to do that for you, all the way from like the very young person to the very, very seasoned person. And we're going to share with you some of the milestones that we hit. Those are great and those are wonderful. The single biggest thing that will impact your future wealth building at a young age is going to be your savings rate. How can I focus on that? And how can I get as many dollars working for me as early as possible? And if I can do that, time will do the rest.
Well, I've seen, and it's been on our YouTube channel in the comments section here in the last week and a half, there was a whole group of people talking about one of the biggest things that they want to thank us for was their net worth statement, the habit of doing it every year. Because somebody had said, I found these guys, and they named the year, and like I had $5,000, and then one person chimed in, now they're at $500,000. You know, and so guys, just do the exercise. If you go to, there's two options here. If you go to moneyguy.com/resources, there's a free net worth template that you can download. If you really want to turbocharge or accelerate your success, you can go to moneyguy.com, or you can go learn.moneyguy.com, and we actually have a net worth tool that has an entire dashboard. But don't skip that step. One of my regrets, I don't mind sharing with my regrets. I'm very transparent with you guys. I didn't start tracking my net worth until 2006. It was a lot of life. I graduated in the mid-90s. I daydream, and we have an associate here, Eric, who, engineer mindset. He's actually got it from like when he graduated college, and I'm just jealous of that. So there's not a bad time to start this exercise. I promise your future self will be very thankful of just doing the exercise of tracking your net worth at least annually. I think when people first start this, you're probably going to do it much more frequently than that. And I always say it's like raising a child. It makes sense when you're trying to teach them to be potty trained and feed themselves. Yes, you're going to be doing that often, but after they kind of start taking care of themselves, you need to do periodic check-ins to make sure your net worth is doing everything you want it to do. But it's a great exercise in wealth building.
Love it.